light rests gently on the world tonight, like a soft blanket that knows exactly where your shoulders hold tension. Somewhere nearby, a quiet stretch of water smooths itself into slow, repeating lines. The air feels warm, but not heavy, more like a calm hand resting on the edge of your thoughts. A thin ribbon of fog drifts between the trees, unbothered, unhurried, floating as if it has nowhere else to be. And along the shoreline, the coconut palms stand in a relaxed row, tall silhouettes with feathery crowns that sway the way sleepy people shift into a more comfortable position. If you listen closely, you might hear their fronds making a soft sound, like the world whispering, "It's okay. You can rest now." Even the trees look like they're practicing deep breathing. Honestly, they're better at it than most of us. They don't overthink the inhale. They don't argue with the exhale. They simply sway. Welcome to Sleepy Nature Sleep, where the wild grows soft and curiosity becomes calm. Tonight, let your thoughts follow the rhythm of the earth, your breathing settle like evening wind, and your mind wander gently through the quiet wild. If this place feels peaceful, you're always welcome back. No membership card required, only your presence. Just a small return to this quiet campfire of listeners, where the night is always warm and the stories are always slow. And if you'd like to support the channel, it helps us keep the night lights low and the nature facts cozy, like leaving an extra piece of firewood by the edge of the calm, quietly appreciated, never expected. Tonight, we're drifting into the sleepy facts and gentle wonders of the coconut tree, one of the most familiar companions of warm coastlines, a tree that seems to understand tides, sun, salt air, and patience. A tree that offers shade without showing off, fruit without fanfare, and a steady presence that feels like a deep breath you can lean against. So let your shoulders soften, let your jaw unclench, let your thoughts slow down, one by one, like tiny boats easing into a quiet harbor. We'll begin under the fronds, where the night air is calm and the shoreline breathes in long, gentle waves. Tonight, we won't ask a question that stretches to the stars. No cosmic riddles, no great mysteries that make your mind sit up straight and start taking notes. This question is smaller, closer, and softer, like something you'd wonder while standing barefoot in sand, under the coconut palms. With the sea nearby and the air warm against your skin, a gentle question arrives. What does it mean to be useful without ever hurrying? The coconut tree doesn't rush. It doesn't chase the day. It doesn't look at the ocean and think, "Oh no, I'm behind schedule." It simply grows where it grows, sways where it sways, and offers what it can, quietly, steadily, without needing a spotlight. It gives shade, and it never asks if the shade was productive. It grows fruit, and it never announces a launch date. It stands near the coast for years and years, and it never once says, "Wow, I've been doing a lot lately." And maybe that's part of its charm. The coconut palm is useful in a way that feels gentle, almost accidental, like kindness that happens naturally without effort? This question will return through the episode the way the tide returns to the shore, not demanding an answer, not testing you, just washing in softly, then washing out again, leaving everything a little smoother. If your thoughts try to grab it and solve it, that's okay. Minds love to do that. They pick up questions like shells and turn them over and over. But tonight, you don't have to solve anything. You can simply hold the question lightly, the way you might hold a warm cup in both hands, feeling it, letting it be there, letting it be gentle. And if your mind wanders away toward tomorrow, toward something you said earlier, toward a random memory from 2014 that shows up for no reason, just let it wander. Even the palm fronds wander, back and forth, and nobody calls them unfocused. So we'll carry the question with us, tucked under the leaves. What does it mean to be useful without ever hurrying? And we'll let the coconut tree answer in the only way it knows, by simply being what it is, at the calm speed of nature. We're on a quiet tropical coast tonight, where the land meets the sea in a slow, friendly way. The sand still holds a little warmth from the day, like a gentle memory. The air is soft with salt, and every now and then, a light breeze slides through as if it's checking in, just to see if you're comfortable. The ocean is nearby, not loud, not dramatic. It moves in long, patient lines, breathing in and out like a sleeping creature that has absolutely nothing to prove. The waves don't rush. They're not trying to impress anyone. They arrive, they soften, they leave, over and over. Behind the shore, coconut palms rise into the night, tall, flexible, and calm. Their fronds spread like open hands, catching moonlight in thin, silvery edges. Sometimes you hear a gentle rustle, like pages turning in a book you don't need to finish. This is a world of warm temperatures, bright days, and steady rhythms. Coconut trees tend to love places like this: sunlight, sandy soil, coastal air. They're often found where the breeze carries a bit of salt, where rain visits in cycles, and where the ground drains quickly after a shower. And even though the setting can seem simple, sand, sea, wind, it's full of quiet detail. Tiny insects hum in the background like a soft engine of life. A gecko might pause on a trunk, holding still as if it's practicing meditation. Somewhere, far back, a nightbird calls once and then goes quiet again, like it remembered it was past bedtime. Everything here runs on gentle rules. Light and dark take turns. The tide rises and lowers. Wind comes through, then leaves. The coconut trees respond without resistance, swaying like they've learned the secret. You don't have to fight the world to stay standing. So let this landscape settle around you. Warm air, quiet water, soft sand, fronds moving slowly above. You don't need to hold on to your day anymore. Let it fall away like footprints at the edge of the tide, smoothed out, erased softly, made simple again. We're ready now to step closer to the coconut tree itself and begin our slow, cozy journey through its sleepy facts. If you've ever walked near a tropical beach, You've probably met a coconut tree without even realizing you were being introduced. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't wave a branch in your face and say, "Hello, I'm important." It just stands there, tall and familiar, like a quiet neighbor who's been around so long that everyone forgets to ask how it's doing. Tonight, we'll ask gently. The coconut tree rises from sandy ground in a single clean line. Its trunk is marked with faint rings, old leaf scars, like soft bracelets of time. Up top, the crown opens into a burst of fronds, long and feathered, swaying with the wind as if the tree is always stretching after a nap. And maybe it is. In nature, nap is a lifestyle. Coconut palms grow best in warm climates with plenty of sunlight. They often thrive along coastlines, where sandy soils drain easily and sea breezes move through like a slow, endless fan. The tree's shape makes sense here. Tall enough to reach bright light, flexible enough to handle wind, and calm enough to simply keep being a tree, no matter what the day brings. If you look closely, you might see coconuts clustered near the crown, round shapes hanging quietly like little planets suspended in green. Sometimes they shift slightly in the breeze, tapping each other with a soft wooden sound. Not a knock that startles, more like a tiny reminder that the tree is alive and present, and beneath it, the world feels different. The shade is cooler. The light is softer. The air seems to slow down. Small creatures move more gently here, as if they've agreed not to disturb the peace. A coconut tree doesn't chase attention, but it offers a lot. Shade for resting, a place for birds to perch, a kind of landmark on the coast, something steady, something that says, "You're near the sea." And as you listen tonight, you can let the coconut tree become a symbol of steady calm. It doesn't rush, it doesn't perform, it grows and gives at its own pace. If your mind feels busy, you can borrow that pace. Just like the palm, you can stand quietly in your own life for a moment, not doing, not fixing, not improving, simply being. Let the fronds sway above you. Let the shoreline breathe. And let the coconut tree introduce you to the art of slow presence. Now we drift down, below the sand, below the surface, into the part of the coconut tree that never shows off. The roots. Roots are not flashy. They don't pose for photos. They don't get compliments like, "Wow, your roots look amazing today." And honestly, they seem perfectly fine with that. Roots are the quiet workers of the plant world, steady, patient, and wonderfully uninterested in attention. In sandy coastal soil, coconut palms develop a wide network of fibrous roots. Instead of one deep, dramatic root plunging downward like a spear, the palm spreads many roots outward and down, building a kind of underground web. This helps the tree stay stable when the wind moves in, and it helps the tree find water and nutrients in soil that can be loose and shifting. Imagine that, a tree standing tall in sand, sand that moves, sand that changes, yet the tree remains steady because beneath it, there's a quiet system of support. The roots don't rush. They don't panic when the soil dries a little. They simply keep reaching gently, finding small pockets of moisture, taking what they need. and holding the tree in place. You can almost picture the sand down there, cooler and darker than the surface, holding tiny beads of water. The roots move through that space with slow certainty, like fingers searching for a familiar object in a drawer. No stress, no hurry, just patient knowing. And above, the trunk sways, the fronds rustle, the coconuts hang in their sleepy cluster, but the roots remain calm. There's something comforting about that, a reminder that stability isn't always visible. Sometimes the strongest part of you is the part that nobody sees, the quiet support you give yourself, the small routines, the steady presence that holds you up when the day feels windy. A soft little joke for the sake of coziness. If trees had conversations, the roots would probably say, "Please stop complimenting the leaves. I'm doing all the work." And then they'd go right back to being humble about it. So tonight, as you settle into rest, imagine your own roots. Whatever grounds you, your breath, your bed, the steady rhythm of the night. Let those unseen supports hold you gently. No effort required, no performance needed, just quiet stability in the dark where calm begins. Above us, the coconut tree opens its crown like a slow green umbrella, fronds fanning outward, each one long and feathered, each one moving as if it's listening to the air. Tonight, the wind doesn't hurry. It arrives softly, slides through the leaves, and keeps going, as if it's trying not to wake anyone. The fronds respond in the same gentle spirit, no stiffness, no resistance, only a quiet sway that looks almost like a stretch. If you watch long enough, you begin to notice something comforting. The coconut tree doesn't fight the breeze, it cooperates with it. The fronds lift, settle, lift again, like a calm breath that repeats without effort. In a simple way, this is part of the tree's wisdom. Coconut palms often live in coastal places where wind is common, and their shape helps them handle it with grace. The long fronds can bend and flutter, letting air pass through rather than pressing against it like a closed door. It's less bracing and more flowing, less hold your ground and more let it move through. And the sound is gentle, a soft brushing, a quiet shh that feels like the tree is telling the night, everything is fine. Sometimes the fronds click faintly where they meet, like the lightest tapping of bamboo chimes, but slower, sleepier, as if even the music is yawning. If your thoughts are windy tonight, if they swirl around the edges of your mind, bringing little worries or random memories, try letting them move the way the fronds move. You don't have to block them. You don't have to wrestle them into silence. You can let them pass through and keep your inner space open. A small, cozy joke drifts in and out. Coconut fronds never overthink their purpose. They don't ask, "Am I swaying correctly?" They just sway. Imagine how peaceful that must be. No self-critique, no second-guessing. Just leaves being leaves, doing an excellent job at being unbothered. Under the crown, the air cools slightly. The light softens. The world feels slower. You might even notice your shoulders dropping a little, as if your body remembers that it's allowed to rest. And above you, the fronds continue their quiet breathing, lifting, settling, lifting, settling, like nature's own lullaby, written in wind. Now we let our attention glide down the trunk, tall, simple, and calm. The coconut palm's trunk rises like a quiet column, marked by subtle rings, each one a soft reminder of time passing without announcements. Some trunks lean slightly, as if the tree decided long ago to face the sea more comfortably. Not in a dramatic pose, more like the way you shift your weight when you're standing somewhere familiar, somewhere safe. The coconut palm is built for a world where breezes visit often. Its trunk isn't trying to be rigid like a statue. It carries a kind of relaxed flexibility, like a spine that knows how to move without strain. Palms have an internal structure that supports bending rather than snapping, bundled fibers that help them stay steady while still swaying. And this suits coastal life beautifully, where wind is less a surprise and more a regular guest. You can picture the tree on a warm afternoon, sun bright above, breeze slipping through. The trunk gives just enough. It doesn't argue with the air, it allows motion, and in doing that, it keeps itself whole. At night, the trunk becomes something else, an outline in moonlight, a soft silhouette against a darker sky. It looks almost like a quiet lighthouse of land, telling you where the shore is without shining a single beam. If you place your imagination close to it, you might hear the faintest creak of movement. Not sharp, not alarming, just the gentle sound of a living thing shifting its balance. It's the kind of sound that makes you feel the world is still awake, but in a sleepy way. A tiny line of humor floats by. The coconut palm is basically the chill friend of the tree world. It's tall, it's confident, it's always dressed for vacation, and it never once asks if you've been maximizing your potential. It just stands there like, "Hey, you good?" And you can answer quietly with your breath. As you inhale, imagine the trunk rising, steady and smooth. As you exhale, imagine it swaying, small, relaxed, natural. Strength here doesn't look like stiffness. It looks like flexibility that doesn't panic. It looks like a calm willingness to move with what moves. And if there's anything in you that's been holding too tightly today, jaw, shoulders, thoughts, let the coconut tree teach you a simpler way. Stand, breathe, sway a little inside. No one is grading your stillness. The night is kind, and the trunk, tall and quiet, keeps its slow balance under the moon. Under the coconut tree's crown, the world feels gentler. The fronds overlap in layers, forming a roof of green that filters light by day and gathers shadow by night. It's a kind of shelter that doesn't close in, more like a soft ceiling that keeps the sky from feeling too wide. Tonight, the crown is a dark bouquet against the moon. The fronds catch small pieces of silver along their edges, and the whole top of the tree looks like it's wearing a quiet halo made of leaves. This canopy changes the air beneath it in subtle ways. Shade cools the ground. The sand holds onto moisture a little longer. The brightness softens into something easier on the eyes. A coconut tree doesn't just exist in a landscape, it gently edits the feeling of the place around it. And because it changes the feeling of the place, Other lives gather nearby, not in a busy, chaotic way, more in a sleepy neighborhood way. A gecko might pause on the trunk, perfectly still, like a tiny statue practicing patience. Insects hum in steady patterns, not loud enough to be annoying, just present enough to sound like the night is gently working on something. A small bird could be tucked somewhere higher up, resting into feathers like a pillow. Nothing dramatic happens. Everything simply settles where it fits. Even the fallen fronds below can become shelter, soft cover for small creatures, a shaded corner, a calm hiding place. The coconut tree offers comfort in layers, above, beneath, and around. A tiny warm joke drifts through. The coconut tree is basically running a quiet little resort. Shade, shelter, a light breeze, and it never asks you to sign in at reception. No checkout time. No awkward, "How was your stay?" survey. Just calm hospitality. And when you stand beneath it, real or imagined, you can feel that hospitality too. Let your thoughts slow under this canopy. Let your breathing deepen. Let your mind rest in the shade. There's something soothing about being under a roof made of living leaves. It reminds you that shelter doesn't always come from walls. Sometimes it comes from presence. Something steady above you. Something that says, "You're covered." The crown sways a little as the wind passes through, and the motion is slow enough to feel like rocking, like the world is gently rocking itself to sleep and inviting you to come along. Under the coconut tree, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to become anything. You can simply be, quietly gathered into the night. Somewhere high in the crown, tucked among fronds that keep their own soft secrets, the coconut tree begins a quieter chapter of its life. Flowering. It doesn't announce it with bright colors shouting into the sky. It doesn't throw petals like confetti. Coconut blossoms are more subtle, pale, clustered, gentle, easy to miss unless you're looking slowly, and tonight, we're looking slowly. The hook is simple. Imagine moonlight touching a hidden bloom, just enough to reveal it, then slipping away again. The flowers sit close to the tree's center, protected by the canopy, like a small private gathering. In a calm, unhurried way, this is how the coconut tree prepares for what comes later. The tree produces flowering structures that include many small flowers, and over time, pollination can happen, helped by moving air and by tiny visitors that drift in without fuss. A breeze carries light dust. An insect pauses, then continues. Nothing feels forced. Nothing feels dramatic. It's more like the world quietly cooperating. If you could hear it, you might imagine pollination sounding like almost nothing at all, like a whisper too shy to become a word. And there's something deeply relaxing about that. Nature doesn't always make big gestures. Sometimes it does important work in near silence. A faint humor line floats by, featherlight. The coconut tree doesn't do public announcements. It blooms like it's sending a private message to the universe, and the universe politely doesn't reply in all caps. We let the imagery linger. Warm air rising, fronds shifting, the scent of tropical night, sweet and damp and alive. Beneath, The shore keeps its slow rhythm. Above, the flowers wait calmly, letting time do what time does. This is a reminder that beginnings can be quiet. You don't need fanfare to be real. You don't need excitement to be meaningful. Some changes start softly, the way sleep starts, by small signals, by gentle easing, by the body and mind deciding together that it's safe to let go. If your day has been loud, messages, tasks, talking, thinking, let the coconut tree's quiet blooming be a new example. You can bloom quietly too. You can grow privately. You can become something softer without explaining it to anyone. And as the night continues, the coconut blossoms remain tucked away, small, patient, and calm, preparing slowly for the next gentle chapter. Time moves differently in the world of trees, especially here, where warmth is steady and the ocean repeats itself without getting bored. The coconut tree does not treat time like something to race through. It treats time like a place to live. From the quiet beginnings of flowers, the coconut forms, slowly, like a story that takes its time choosing each word. At first, it's just a small shape near the crown, green and rounded, almost like the tree is holding a soft marble in its hand. It sits there without hurry, growing by degrees you can't really notice day to day. Nature doesn't offer progress bars, it offers patience. Over time, the coconut develops its layers, outer husk forming, shell hardening, inner flesh thickening, and coconut water gathering inside like a cool, private pool. Each layer arrives on its own schedule, as if the coconut is building itself the way you build comfort, gradually, quietly, with no need to prove speed. The hook is sensory. Imagine standing under the palm and hearing the faintest tap as coconuts touch each other in the breeze. A soft wooden knock, gentle, almost polite, like they're saying, "Still here, still becoming." The science stays light, like a bedtime fact. The coconut is a seed designed to nourish its future self. That's the whole vibe. A little self-care package wrapped in husk and shell, prepared slowly. A tiny joke drifts in. The coconut definitely isn't the type to rush a project. It's the friend who says, "I'll be ready when I'm ready." And somehow, it's always right. We let imagery do most of the work now. Rain falls and slides off fronds. Sun returns and warms the crown. Night arrives and cools everything down. The coconut keeps growing through it all, without waking you, without asking you to watch. And there's a comfort in that kind of becoming. If you're someone who feels pressure to be fast, to improve quickly, to figure everything out, to become better by a certain date, let the coconut tree offer a different rhythm. Becoming can be slow and still be true. Growth can be quiet and still be happening. You don't need to force your way forward tonight. You can rest inside time the way a coconut rests inside its layers, held, supported, protected. Let your thoughts soften. Let your breath deepen. Let your body feel heavy in the safest way. Above you, the coconut continues its slow becoming, and the shoreline keeps breathing, steady, patient, kind, like the night itself is saying, "There's no rush. You're allowed to take your time. Somewhere inside a young coconut, there's a quiet, hidden comfort, an inner hush that feels like shade in liquid form. If you imagine holding a coconut in your hands, you can almost sense that stillness inside it, not silent in an empty way. Silent in a kept safe way, like a small room where coolness rests. On warm tropical nights, the coconut tree stands above the sand, and the air moves slowly through its fronds. Up near the crown, a cluster of coconuts hangs like sleepy lanterns that never bother to glow. They simply wait, they sway, they remain. Inside many of those younger coconuts is coconut water, clear, gentle, and calm. In the simplest sense, it's part of the coconut's inner nourishment, supporting the seed as it develops. Nature, quietly practical, tucks away what the future might need. No announcements, no hurry. Just a soft, steady preparation. If you listen closely in your imagination, you might hear the faintest suggestion of liquid, just a tiny shift as the coconut moves in the breeze. Not a slosh that startles, more like the ocean copying itself in miniature. A small tide in a small world. And there's something deeply soothing about that idea. Calm contained within calm. The tree breathes in the wind, the sea breathes along the shore, and the coconut holds a cool pocket of water inside its layered shell, like a secret kept for a quieter day. A small sleepy joke floats by. The coconut is basically a little canteen that never brags. It doesn't say, "Look at me, I'm hydrating." It just quietly does its coconut thing. If coconuts could speak, they'd probably whisper, "No worries, I've got this," and then go right back to being perfectly round and unbothered. As you settle deeper into rest, you can borrow the coconut's approach. You don't need to solve your whole life tonight. You don't need to plan every tomorrow. You can simply hold something gentle inside you, like a small reserve of calm. Let your breathing be clear and simple. Let your chest rise and fall like a slow wave. Let your thoughts become transparent, soft, light, passing through. And if you need an image to rest on, picture that quiet coconut water inside its shell. Cool, steady, protected. A reminder that nature often stores peace in small places. Even if the day felt loud, the night can hold you softly. And somewhere above the shoreline, the coconut tree keeps offering its quiet gifts, one of them hidden inside, waiting without pressure, like calm that never demands attention. Now we come to the coconut's outer layer, the husk, thick, fibrous, and oddly comforting. It looks a little rough, but it feels like it was designed with tenderness in mind. Not tenderness like a blanket, maybe. More like tenderness like a padded jacket. Something that says, "I'll hold you gently, even if the world is a bit bumpy." The husk is made of dense fibers, often called coir, and it wraps around the coconut like a patient shield. It isn't flashy. It doesn't try to be pretty in the way a flower tries. It is simply practical and calm about it. The coconut tree grows these layers slowly, as if it knows that a seed might travel, might wait, might rest on sand for a while before anything begins. And the husk helps with that waiting. It cushions. It insulates. It keeps the coconut from feeling too exposed to sun and air. It holds space around the seed the way a good pillow holds space around your head, supportive, quiet, and not interested in drama. If you picture a coconut falling into sand, the sound in your mind is soft. A muted thump, a gentle settle, not a sharp crack, not a startled moment. Just the coconut arriving where gravity and time place it, then resting. There's a calm wisdom in the husk's texture. Fibers layered on fibers, like nature weaving a slow rope out of patience. It reminds you that protection doesn't always need to be rigid. It can be soft and strong at the same time. A little humor drifts in, light as a feather. The coconut is basically wearing a cozy travel outfit, a life jacket vibe, a padded coat vibe. If it had sunglasses, nobody would question it. It's giving vacation safety, and honestly, good for it. As you listen, you might let the idea of the husk become a gentle metaphor for your own comfort tonight. You don't need to be tough in a sharp-edged way. You can be softly protected. You can let the night wrap around you like layered fibers, quietly supportive, steady, warm. If your body is holding tension, let it loosen into the bed. If your mind is holding worries, let them soften at the edges. You can rest inside your own husk of calm, your blankets, your breath, the steady night air. Above the shoreline, palm fronds continue their slow movement. The ocean keeps its patient rhythm, and the coconut, wrapped in its fibrous armor, remains a small reminder. Softness can be strength, quiet can be protection, and safety can feel like something gently layered around you while you drift. Beneath the husk is the shell, hard, smooth, and quietly dependable. It feels like the coconut's private room, built for waiting. And it waits well. It doesn't complain. It doesn't fidget. It simply holds what it holds and keeps it close. If you imagine holding the shell in your hands, you can picture it as a small moon, rounded, complete, and calm. Sometimes you notice the three little eyes at one end, like a sleepy face that always looks mildly surprised, but never alarmed. The coconut has that expression of someone who just woke up from a nap and is still deciding whether to open both eyes. Very relatable. The shell's purpose is simple and gentle. It helps protect the seed's inner world. It keeps things contained. It keeps things steady. It creates a boundary between the inside and the outside, not in a harsh way, but in a quiet, caring way. Boundaries in nature often look like this, not walls built out of fear, just structures built out of wisdom. A shell says, there is something precious inside, and it deserves time. It doesn't hurry the process. It doesn't ask the seed to perform. It simply gives space, and space is soothing. As the coconut hangs under the palm fronds, the shell holds the developing layers within. Coconut water, soft inner flesh forming slowly. Nourishment arranged like a calm pantry. Everything inside feels like it's resting into its own rhythm, undisturbed. You can let that idea settle into you too. Tonight, you are allowed to have an inner room, a quiet, safe room, a place inside your mind where you don't have to answer questions, fix problems, or explain yourself. a place where your thoughts can be gentle and your breath can be slow. A tiny joke drifts by. If the coconut shell could talk, it would probably say, "Please respect my privacy," and then politely refuse to elaborate. And honestly, that's a great energy for bedtime. So let your body feel the boundary of your bed, supporting you. Let your blankets feel like a soft border around your shoulders. Let the room around you become simple and safe. Outside, the night continues its calm routines. Wind through fronds, ocean breathing, insects humming softly. Inside, like the coconut inside its shell, you can rest inside a quiet enclosure of comfort. Nothing needs to get in. Nothing needs to get out. You can simply be held gently, steadily, by the calm shape of the night. Some seeds travel on the wind. Some travel by sticking quietly to fur or feathers. And some, like the coconut, travel in the most relaxing way imaginable. They float. Picture a coconut resting on the surface of the sea at night. The water is dark and smooth, and the coconut bobs gently, rising and falling in slow motion. It looks almost like it's being rocked, like a cradle made of moonlit tide. The coconut's husk helps it stay buoyant, keeping it afloat for long stretches of drifting. This is one of the coconut's quiet gifts, a seed wrapped for travel, designed to move without effort, carried by the soft machinery of currents and waves, not rushing anywhere, not chasing a destination, just going where the water goes. If your mind is busy tonight, you can let it borrow that image. Thoughts are like currents sometimes, moving in patterns we don't fully control. And instead of gripping tightly, you can float. You can let yourself be carried gently without needing to steer every moment. The sea makes its lullaby sounds, low, repeating, steady. The coconut rises, settles, rises again. It doesn't worry about the direction. It doesn't need a map. It doesn't check the time. It doesn't do that thing humans do where we try to turn rest into a task. A soft joke drifts by. The coconut is basically on the world's slowest cruise ship, and the ship is just the ocean. No itinerary, no announcements over a speaker, no awkward buffet line, just a calm float with excellent views of the moon. The night air above the water is gentle. The surface reflects faint starlight like scattered glitter that decided to be quiet for once. And far away, a shoreline waits patiently without calling. In nature, arrival doesn't always come from effort. Sometimes it comes from time, from repetition, from the steady kindness of a rhythm that keeps going. So let your breathing match the coconut's drift. Inhale, rise, exhale, settle. If you feel yourself sinking deeper into sleep, that's okay. You don't need to hold on to every word. You can float right past them the way a coconut floats past moonlight. And somewhere in the dark water of your imagination, a small seed continues its gentle travel, carried by tide, held by buoyancy, wrapped in layers of patience, drifting as if the world itself is saying, "Rest, I'll take you from here." Eventually, the drifting becomes a kind of quiet approaching. The coconut doesn't rush in. It doesn't leap toward land. It simply finds itself closer to shore, little by little, until a wave nudges it into shallow water, and then, softly, onto sand. Landing, in nature, often looks like this. Not a grand moment, not a trumpet sound, just a gentle shift from floating to resting. The coconut settles near the edge of the beach, where the sand is damp and cool, where the air smells like salt and warm earth. The tide breathes in, breathes out, leaving the coconut in place like a small, rounded gift. It lies there quietly, not asking what happens next. It is perfectly okay with waiting, and waiting here isn't empty. Waiting is part of the design. A coconut that reaches a suitable shoreline may eventually begin the slow process of germination, when warmth, moisture, and time line up in a gentle agreement. But tonight, we don't need to hurry into that chapter. Tonight, we can stay in the softness of arrival. We can notice how the coconut looks on sand, rounded, steady, slightly tucked into the beach as if it's getting comfortable. We can notice how the world around it calms. The waves are softer near shore. The wind is lighter behind the palms. The night insects keep their quiet chorus. A little humor. Bedtime soft. The coconut arrives like a traveler who doesn't make a scene. No dramatic suitcase. No loud, "I'm here" energy. It's more like, "Hello, I'll just lie down right here," which is frankly an excellent bedtime strategy. And maybe you can do the same. You have arrived at this moment. You have arrived in your bed, in the night, in the quiet. You don't have to keep traveling through thoughts and plans. Let your body settle the way the coconut settles into sand, supported, held, gently shaped by softness. Let your breathing slow into a steady rhythm. Let your mind rest at the shoreline of sleep, where everything becomes simpler. The coconut lies under the wide night sky, not striving, not searching, just resting where it has been placed. The palm trees continue their slow swaying above. The ocean keeps smoothing itself into calm lines, and you too can practice the gentle art of arriving, not with effort, not with pressure, just with a quiet settling into rest. On the beach, the coconut rests as if it has always belonged there. Sand cups its curved sides. Night air moves gently over it. The tide comes close, then eases away again, leaving behind a thin, damp shine that darkens the sand in a soft, quiet pattern. And then, over days and weeks, in the kind of time that doesn't need to be watched, something begins. Not loudly, not suddenly, not in a way that demands your attention. The coconut carries everything it needs for this early chapter, tucked safely inside. Within its layers are stored nutrients, nature's packed lunch, prepared long before the journey ended. When warmth, moisture, and steadiness line up just right, the seed slowly turns its attention inward and then outward, as if it's waking from a deep, comfortable sleep. A root begins to form, reaching down into the sand with calm curiosity. It doesn't search in a frantic way. It simply extends, feeling for what the beach can offer. Small pockets of moisture, tiny traces of minerals, the coolness held beneath the surface. The root anchors gently, like a hand resting on a familiar table. Soon after, a shoot begins to rise. It's not dramatic. It's more like a yawn, slow, quiet, inevitable. It lifts toward light because that is what living things do when they are ready. And when it finally breaks the surface, it's small, tender, and perfectly content to be new. If you've ever watched a sunrise when you couldn't sleep, you know the feeling. The light doesn't hurry. It simply arrives, and the world changes at the speed of softness. Germination feels like that. Life arriving gently, without fanfare. A little bedtime humor drifts by. The coconut seedling is not a morning person, exactly. It takes its time, it stretches, it blinks. It chooses a pace that would make any productivity coach sigh dramatically into a clipboard. And still, it grows beautifully. And as we watch the slow beginning, you can let your own body and mind take a lesson from it. Tonight, you don't need to force anything open. Rest can be a kind of germination too, a quiet internal shift, a soft beginning that happens while you are safe and still. So let your breath move like warm air over sand. Inhale, a gentle lift. Exhale, a quiet settling. The coconut sprout doesn't worry about how long it takes. It simply becomes, patiently, steadily, one small movement at a time. And you can do the same, drifting deeper into sleep, letting your own inner world arrange itself kindly in the dark. The first leaves of a coconut palm are not grand fronds yet. They begin more simply, thin, fresh, and bright, with the kind of green that looks like it's still deciding what shade it wants to be. They lift from the young plant like gentle flags, not waving for attention, just testing the air. In the coastal morning, sunlight arrives warm and steady. At night, moonlight softens the edges of everything. And between those two, the little palm practices being alive, slowly, quietly, with no need to impress. A seedling's early leaves help it gather energy from light. This is the soft science beneath the softness. Leaves take in sunlight and turn it into what the plant can use for growth. It's a calm exchange, light arriving, leaf receiving. Nothing is demanded, nothing is forced, just a simple daily rhythm. When a breeze passes through, the young leaves move easily. They don't resist. They don't stiffen into stillness. They simply sway, learning the language of wind the way a child learns the language of lullabies, through repetition, through safety, through gentle practice. The beach around it remains quiet. Sand cools at night. Tiny insects hum low in the background, like a distant appliance that nobody minds. A lizard may pause nearby, still as a small thought that is finally relaxed. Everything feels like it belongs to a slow world. And the seedling, with its first leaves, becomes a new little presence in that world, something small but steady. A soft joke floats in. The seedling's leaves look like they're doing tiny stretches. If plants had yoga classes, this would be the beginner session. Welcome, everyone. Today we will practice gently existing. No mats required, just sunlight. As you listen, imagine your own first leaves, your earliest calm. Maybe it's the first deep breath you take when the day ends. Maybe it's the moment your shoulders drop when you finally lie down. These small beginnings matter. They are not less because they are quiet. They are the start of softness returning. Let your breathing slow, like a seedling swaying. Inhale, lift, exhale, settle. The coconut palm grows one patient piece at a time, leaf by leaf, day by day, breeze by breeze. And tonight, you can let yourself grow quieter in the same way, softly, gently, until rest feels natural again. In the life of a coconut tree, sunlight is not an event, it is a ritual. It arrives each day like a familiar guest, warm, dependable, never needing applause. And the coconut palm receives it with the calm grace of something that has been practicing for a very long time. By day, the fronds open to the sky, catching light in long, thin segments. Each leaf becomes a quiet collector, taking in brightness and turning it into the slow work of living. This is the gentle science again. Photosynthesis, the leaf's steady way of transforming light into energy, but we don't have to name it loudly. We can simply feel the idea. Sunlight enters, life continues. If you imagine the palm at noon, you can picture a soft shimmer, fronds lit along their edges, shadows dappled beneath like lace on sand. The air is warm, the ocean glints in the distance, and the tree stands in its own calm routine, receiving what it needs without grabbing. Then evening arrives. Light lowers, heat softens. The palm doesn't cling to the day. It lets the brightness go, the way you might let go of a thought that has done enough for now. Night spreads gently, and the tree becomes a silhouette again, still present, still steady, just quieter. A tiny, humorous whisper drifts past. The coconut tree never says, "Ugh, it's already evening." It doesn't check a phone. It doesn't doom scroll the sunset. It simply transitions, like a professional at relaxing. And in that, there's something you can borrow. What if your day could be received and released in the same way? What if you could take in what you need and then soften into night without carrying everything forward? So tonight, let your breath follow the sun's pattern, slow and easy. Inhale, like morning light arriving. Exhale, like evening light fading. You don't have to hold on to brightness to be safe. Night is safe too. The coconut palm knows this. It doesn't fear darkness. It rests inside it, waiting calmly for the next gentle day. Under the palm, the world becomes simpler, sounds lower, movement slow, and your mind can do that too, quieting as the light quiets, easing as the day eases, until rest feels like the most natural ritual of all. Coastal air carries salt the way lullabies carry repetition, softly, steadily, without needing to explain itself. The breeze rolls in from the sea, brushing everything it touches with a faint, invisible trace. Sand, leaves, skin, wood. Each receives the ocean's signature, gentle and familiar, and still, the coconut palm thrives here. This is one of its quiet talents, a kind of tolerance, a calm steadiness in a place where the air tastes of sea. Coconut palms are well suited to coastal environments, able to handle salty conditions better than many plants. They stand near shorelines where other trees might prefer a little distance, and they do it with the relaxed confidence of something that has found its home. We keep the science soft. The palm's structure and physiology help it manage salt and water in ways that support growth in these seaside places. Doesn't mean the tree is tough in a dramatic way. It means the tree is adapted, quietly prepared for the life it lives. Picture the fronds tonight with a faint sheen, salt mist settling lightly, then drying. The tree doesn't complain. It simply continues its slow routines, swaying, receiving light, offering shade, growing coconuts that hang like sleepy ornaments. A small joke wanders through, sleepy and kind. The coconut palm lives at the beach and never once says, "I'm so salty." It just stands there, gracefully salty, which is, honestly, a very elegant way to be. And there's something calming about that. The world around you may have its salt, little irritations, little lingering feelings, little things that cling to the day. But like the coconut palm, you can let those traces exist without letting them take over the whole landscape of your mind. You can be near what's sharp without becoming sharp. You can be touched by the world without being carried away by it. Let your breathing stay smooth. Inhale, like a breeze coming in. Exhale, like the breeze moving on. The coconut palm stands with the sea close by, salt in the air, sand beneath, moon above, and it remains steady, not rigid, not tense, just quietly balanced. And as you listen, you can let that balance settle into you. The night doesn't ask you to be perfect. It only offers a gentle place to rest, salty air, soft wind, slow water, until your thoughts feel clean again, like sand after the tide. Water visits the coconut tree in different ways. Sometimes it arrives as rain, warm drops sliding along fronds, gathering at the tips, falling softly to the sand. Sometimes it arrives as humidity, air that feels like it's carrying a gentle drink for everything. Sometimes it arrives quietly through the soil, in small pockets that roots find without hurry. And sometimes it doesn't arrive much at all. In those drier moments, the coconut palm doesn't perform distress. It doesn't dramatize. It simply continues, leaning into the slow wisdom of patience. The tree's roots spread and drink where they can, and its leaves manage the day with a calm efficiency, receiving, releasing, balancing. Nature is full of quiet adjustments like this, small shifts that keep life steady. We don't need many details to feel the truth of it. The coconut palm is a tree of rhythms, rain rhythms, sun rhythms, tide rhythms. It learns to accept what comes and to wait kindly through what doesn't. Picture rain tonight in your imagination, not a stormy sound, just a soft tropical rain, steady as a whisper. It taps fronds like gentle fingers on a drum that never tries to be loud. Water beads and slides, making tiny trails that shine briefly in moonlight before disappearing into sand. And then picture the moment after. The air slightly cooler, the scent of damp earth rising, the whole beach smelling like calm. A small, cozy joke drifts by. If the coconut tree could speak after a rain, it would probably say, "Ah, hydrated." And then it would immediately return to being quietly majestic, because trees never overdo it. As you listen, you can let water become a metaphor for your own rest. Sleep is a kind of rain for the mind, gentle, renewing, softening the edges. You don't have to earn it, you simply allow it. So let your breath be water-like. Inhale, cool and smooth. Exhale, warm and releasing. Let the day's dryness soften. Let your thoughts become less sharp. Let your body feel replenished by stillness. Above the shoreline, the coconut palms continue their slow swaying, receiving what comes and wading through what doesn't. Calm, steady, kind. And you can do the same tonight, held by the quiet rhythm of the world, drifting gently towards sleep. Beneath a coconut tree, the world feels a little more settled. The light is softer, even at night. The air is slightly cooler, like the tree has been quietly smoothing the temperature with its own calm presence. And in that gentle pocket of shade and stillness, a small neighborhood forms. Not bustling, not busy, just quietly together. If you imagine standing under the palm right now, you can almost feel the ground's texture changing. Sand becomes a little firmer where it's been sheltered. A few fallen leaf pieces rest like sleepy ribbons. The soundscape shifts too, less open wind, more soft rustle. Everything under the crown seems to speak in a lower voice. This is how ecosystems often work in warm coastal places. One steady presence creates a slightly different world around it. Under a coconut tree, tiny lives find small advantages, coolness, cover, a place to pause. Not because anyone wins, but because the environment becomes gently hospitable. A gecko may cling to the trunk, still as a thought that has finally decided to relax. It doesn't look hurried. It looks like it has mastered the art of waiting without feeling impatient. Nearby, insects hum in low layers, steady, repetitive, almost soothing. Sometimes a small crab may pass by in the distance, not in a dramatic scurry, but in a slow, practical stroll, like it's simply on its way to something unimportant and perfectly fine. Even plants can gather here. A few small ground cover leaves may enjoy the filtered light. A sprout might choose the edge of the shade where warmth and coolness meet. The coconut tree doesn't manage this neighborhood. It simply creates conditions, and life responds quietly, the way your body responds to a comfortable bed. There's a comforting lesson in that. Sometimes support looks like presence. Sometimes help is not an action, but a space. A soft little joke drifts through, sleepy and kind. The coconut tree is basically the landlord of a very chill apartment complex. The rent is zero. The rules are: be quiet, be small, be respectful. And the amenities include shade, soft breezes, and the occasional coconut falling somewhere far away, hopefully not during anyone's nap. As you rest, let this neighborhood become an image of calm community. You don't have to do anything to belong. You can simply settle into your own small corner of the night. Inhale, like cool air under the canopy. Exhale, like sand smoothing itself flat. And beneath the palm, the neighborhood continues. Tiny movements, soft sounds, steady rhythms, everything living slowly enough to feel like it's almost already dreaming. Not everything in nature stays in the sky. Even the coconut tree's long, elegant fronds eventually finish their time overhead. And when a frond falls, it doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like a gentle handoff, one chapter ending softly, another beginning quietly on the ground. Imagine a frond resting on sand. It lies there like a green-brown feather, long and folded, as if it has simply decided to take a nap where it landed. The air moves over it, and it doesn't move much at all. It has done enough swaying for one lifetime. In the calm science of an ecosystem, fallen plant material becomes part of the slow cycle of return. A frond that once caught sunlight now becomes shade for the ground. It can help hold moisture a little longer. It can provide cover for small creatures that prefer dim, cool places. Over time, it breaks down gradually, giving back pieces of itself to the soil. Nothing is rushed, nothing is wasted. It's just the world quietly reusing kindness. You can picture tiny insects exploring the frond's edges, not as a dramatic scene, just routine, quiet, ordinary life. A small beetle pauses. A few ants pass by like they're on an unimportant errand. The sand beneath becomes a little darker where the frond rests, as if the ground is grateful for the shade. And in this slow recycling, there's a softer story. Nature doesn't throw things away with anger. It lets them become something else. Endings here are not sharp. They're gradual transitions, like the way waking turns into sleep, not all at once, but in small, loosening steps. A tiny sleepy joke drifts in. The frond has officially clocked out. If it had a tiny badge, it would gently place it on the sand and whisper, "My work here is complete," and then immediately become a very respectable piece of ground decor. As you listen, you might let this cycle calm your own mind. Not everything has to be held forever. Some thoughts can fall away like fronds. Some worries can retire. Some old tensions can simply rest on the ground and begin to soften. Inhale, like a frond lifting in memory. Exhale, like it's settling down, finally. The coconut tree continues above, still swaying, still breathing with the wind. And below, fallen fronds quietly do their second job, making the world gentler, one slow return at a time. A coconut hanging in the crown feels like a small planet suspended in green, and a coconut on the ground feels like a quiet arrival, rounded, still, and perfectly okay with being where it is. When a coconut touches sand, it doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention. It simply becomes part of the shoreline's collection of simple shapes: stones, shells, driftwood, and this smooth, patient seed wrapped in layers. Sometimes a coconut that falls becomes nourishment. Sometimes it becomes shelter. Sometimes it becomes a seed that will wait, resting on sand until warmth and moisture agree that it's time. And sometimes it just sits there, being wonderfully ordinary. Like nature's way of saying, not everything has to happen immediately. In the calm logic of an ecosystem, a coconut on the ground can offer small opportunities to other lives. A bit of shade here, a place for tiny creatures to hide from direct sun there, a surface that warms in daytime and cools at night, creating a little pocket of changing temperature that some small beings might enjoy. Even when nothing uses it, the coconut's presence is still part of the scene, like a quiet punctuation mark on the beach. If you listen closely in imagination, you might hear the softest sound, sand grains shifting around its curve, settling into a comfortable shape. The coconut becomes a kind of stillness anchor, round, steady, content. A gentle joke floats by. The coconut is the ultimate low-maintenance guest. It arrives, says nothing, asks for nothing, and just lies down. If more of us could do that at bedtime, we'd all be unstoppable. Or more accurately, we'd all be peacefully stoppable. And perhaps that's the lesson here. The coconut doesn't struggle with rest. It doesn't feel guilty about lying still. It doesn't worry about being unproductive. It simply waits in the most natural way possible. So, if your mind has been telling you that rest needs to be justified, you can let that thought loosen. You can practice coconut energy tonight. Calm, steady, no explaining. Inhale, like the coconut rocking gently in memory. Exhale, like it's settling into sand. Above, the palm tree continues its slow swaying under the moon. Below, coconuts rest where they land, each one a small promise or a simple presence, both equally peaceful. And you too can touch the ground of sleep, softly, quietly, without needing to do anything more. Look closely at a coconut palm's trunk, and you'll see it, a series of rings or scars, stacked one above another, like gentle bracelets made of time. Each mark is a quiet record where an old frond once lived, where it once joined the tree, where it once waved in wind and caught sunlight, and then, eventually, let go. The palm doesn't keep memories in a noisy way. It doesn't replay them. It doesn't cling to them. It simply carries the evidence calmly in its texture. The trunk becomes a kind of timeline you can touch, and it's soothing to think about memory like that, less like a storm of thoughts, more like a pattern of lines. The tree isn't haunted by its past fronds. It isn't regretful. It isn't sentimental in a heavy way. It just remembers, quietly, while continuing to stand. If you sit with that image for a moment, you might notice how different it feels from the way human minds sometimes behave at night. We replay, we re-edit, we re-argue. We invite old moments back into the room and then wonder why we can't fall asleep. But the coconut palm offers another approach. The past can exist without being loud. It can be part of you without taking over the whole night. The gentle science underneath this is simple. Palms grow upward from their crown, and as old leaves fall away, the trunk remains marked. Time becomes visible in rings. Growth leaves traces, not as wounds, but as natural signatures. A tiny humor line drifts through, soft as a yawn. The coconut palm's trunk is basically a scrapbook with no captions, no dramatic notes, no "remember when we cried," just quiet rings that say, "Yes, that happened." Anyway, we're still here. And that can feel comforting. You can let your own memories exist the way the palm does, present, but not demanding. You don't have to solve them tonight. You don't have to judge them. You can simply acknowledge, Yes, that was part of the path. Inhale, like a new ring forming slowly. Exhale, like an old frond letting go. The night is not asking you to revisit everything. The night is offering you a softer relationship with your own timeline. Like the coconut palm, you can stand in the present while gently carrying the past in quiet lines. Nothing sharp, nothing urgent. Just the calm truth that you have grown, and you are still here. Some kinds of cooperation look obvious. Big animals moving together, birds rising in flocks. But some of nature's most beautiful teamwork happens so softly that you could miss it entirely if you blink. The coconut palm's flowering is one of those quiet collaborations. High up near the crown, blossoms appear in modest clusters, pale, gentle, more functional than flashy. And the palm doesn't do this alone. It shares the moment with the air, with tiny insects, with the slow, steady movement of the world around it. A breeze slides through the flowers, light pollen drifts. An insect visits, small, ordinary, unimportant in the best way, moving from bloom to bloom without needing a plan. Nobody holds a meeting. Nobody assigns roles. The cooperation simply happens because life is built to respond to life. The science here can remain soft and simple. Coconut palms produce flowers that allow pollination through wind and insect activity. It's an exchange that repeats across seasons, steady and reliable, like a gentle ritual written into the tropical air. And there's something profoundly calming about that. Nature doesn't always rely on one method. It uses quiet redundancy, wind, insects, timing, repeated opportunities, like a system designed with patience rather than pressure. A small, affectionate joke floats by. The coconut palm doesn't network aggressively. It doesn't hand out business cards to bees. It just blooms quietly and lets the world do its gentle thing. Honestly, that's a social strategy we could all appreciate. As you rest, you can let this cooperation become a bedtime thought. You don't have to do everything alone. Even in the natural world, growth often comes from small partnerships. Air helping leaves breathe, water helping roots drink, insects helping flowers become fruit. Life leans on life in tiny ways all the time. Inhale, like a breeze arriving at the blossoms. Exhale, like pollen drifting, light and unbothered. And if your mind has been carrying too much, planning, fixing, holding, let it set something down tonight. Let the world cooperate with you for a while. Let your bed hold your body. Let your breath hold your mind. Let the quiet night do some of the work. Above the shoreline, the coconut palm continues its slow offering, blooming without fuss, trusting the soft teamwork of wind and small wings. Proof that even the gentlest cooperation can carry life forward, calmly, quietly, and beautifully. Somewhere along the coast, where warm air meets salt and sand, the coconut palm stands as if it has made a quiet agreement with its surroundings. Not a loud agreement, not a dramatic one, just a calm understanding. This is the kind of place I live, so this is the kind of way I'll be. A coconut tree doesn't look like it's handling anything. It simply looks like itself. Tall trunk, soft crown, long fronds that let the wind pass through as if the wind is an old friend stopping by. And that is, in its own gentle way, the miracle of adaptation. Not a transformation that happens overnight, but a slow shaping over time, like a stone becoming smooth, like sand learning the curve of the shore. In coastal places, conditions can be bright and salty and breezy. The ground can drain quickly. The air can feel like it's always carrying a light mist from the sea. And the coconut palm fits into this without fuss. It grows with a structure that is flexible, with roots that spread and hold, with leaves that sway and breathe with moving air. It doesn't resist the environment, it participates in it. And that participation feels like a lesson you don't have to study for. Because adaptation, when it's calm, looks like softness that still works. It looks like learning where the shade falls. It looks like letting the breeze move through you. It looks like making space for what is, instead of wishing the world were different. A small sleepy joke floats by. The coconut tree is basically the most chill local. It doesn't complain about the salt air. It doesn't say, "Oh, so humid today." It just stands there like, "Ah, yes, coastal vibes," and continues being beautifully unbothered. And here, the question from earlier returns quietly, like tide sound you notice again after a pause. What does it mean to be useful without hurrying? The coconut palm answers by existing in a way that supports life around it, shade, shelter, nourishment, without ever rushing to prove itself. You can let that answer be enough. If you've been trying to force yourself into a pace that doesn't fit, tonight you can soften. You can let your body return to a speed that feels natural. You can let your mind stop auditioning for tomorrow. Inhale, as if you're letting the world in gently. Exhale, as if you're letting the world pass through gently. Adaptation doesn't need to look like effort. Sometimes it looks like ease. Sometimes it looks like learning to belong, quietly, steadily, exactly where you already are. The coconut palm is never in a hurry. Even when the wind visits, even when rain comes and goes, even when the sun slides across the sky with its steady warmth, the palm remains devoted to one gentle pace. Slow doesn't mean stuck. Slow doesn't mean nothing is happening. In nature, slow often means deeply alive, just not loud about it. A coconut tree grows in the way a lullaby unfolds, one line, then another, with repetition that comforts rather than bores. New fronds emerge gradually. Older fronds eventually release and rest on the ground. Coconuts take their time forming, layer by layer, quietly building nourishment inside. The tree isn't late. It isn't behind. It's simply moving at the speed of a tree, which is a speed that feels almost designed to calm the human nervous system. If you spend time near a coconut palm, you begin to notice how your own body responds. Shoulders loosen without permission. Breathing lengthens. Thoughts stop sprinting and start strolling, like they remembered how to behave in a quiet place. A soft humor note drifts by. If the coconut palm had a calendar, it would probably be blank. Not because it forgot appointments, because it never made them. Its schedule is just 1, sun, 2, breeze. 3, grow a little. 4, repeat. And honestly, that's a stunning lifestyle choice. The serenity of slowness is not just a vibe, it's a method. It's how ecosystems keep balance. It's how seasons return. It's how roots find water. It's how seeds wait without stressing themselves into dust. And tonight, you can borrow that method. You can let rest arrive slowly. You don't have to force sleep like a switch. You can allow it like evening light, softening, dimming, settling. Your mind can drift the way fronds drift. Your breath can widen the way the ocean widens between waves. Inhale, slow as a frond lifting. Exhale, slow as it's settling back. If a thought shows up, something from earlier today, something from long ago, let it pass by at a slow pace too. No chasing, no grabbing, just noticing and letting it keep walking. The coconut palm stands there, tall and calm, offering a quiet reminder. The world does not always reward speed. Sometimes the most steady things, the most nourishing things, happen slowly, almost invisibly, until one day you realize you've been held by them all along. The shoreline is a gentle kind of memory, not the kind that clings, not the kind that demands you replay it. The shoreline remembers by changing, by rewriting itself softly, over and over, until the past becomes part of the present without any sharp edges. Footprints appear in sand, then a breeze smooths them. A wave arrives and makes a clean line where there used to be texture. Driftwood shifts a little. Shells rearrange themselves like small, sleepy puzzle pieces that no one needs to finish. And above it all, the coconut palms stand as calm witnesses, present through these subtle revisions, never insisting that the shore stay the same. There's something soothing about a landscape that doesn't cling to yesterday. The tide comes in, the tide goes out, and the beach keeps being a beach. Not perfect, not permanent, just quietly renewed. Even the coconut tree participates in this coastal remembering. Its roots hold sand in place, its shade cools the ground. Fallen fronds become part of the beach's texture for a while, then gradually soften into the earth. Coconuts may roll, settle, wait, drift again. Everything here feels like a conversation between land and sea, spoken in slow syllables. A tiny joke wanders through. The shoreline is basically the world's most relaxed editor. It looks at your footprint and says, "Nice draft," and then gently revises it into blank sand. No harsh feedback, just a reset. And maybe that's what you need tonight too. Not to erase your whole life, just to let the day's sharpest edges smooth down, to let the little marks of worry soften, to let the mind stop carving the same track again and again. Imagine your thoughts as footprints for a moment. Some are deep, some are light. You don't need to stomp them away. You can let the tide of breath do it. Inhale, like the wave approaching. Exhale, like the wave easing back, leaving smoothness behind. The shoreline doesn't argue with the tide. It doesn't demand permanence. It allows change to arrive in gentle cycles, returning the beach to something simple again and again. And under the coconut palms, with moonlight on sand and water breathing in long lines, you can let your mind learn that same kindness. the ability to reset without punishment, to release without drama, to become smooth and quiet again, just because it's night. A coconut is a seed with excellent manners. It doesn't make a scene. It doesn't insist on immediate results. It simply carries its future inside itself and waits patiently, calmly, until the world offers the right softness. Inside the coconut's layers is nourishment arranged for a time that hasn't arrived yet. Coconut water, soft flesh, stored energy, quiet preparations wrapped in shell and husk. It's as if the seed is saying, without words, I don't know exactly where I'll land, but I'll be ready to begin when it's kind. That is a gentle kind of faith. Not faith that everything will be perfect. Not faith that nothing will ever feel hard. Just the simple faith that timing matters and waiting can be part of wisdom. On a beach, a coconut can rest for a while. It can lie in sand warmed by sun and cooled by night. It can be visited by breeze, sprinkled by light rain, rocked by small movements of water. It doesn't interpret waiting as failure. It treats waiting as part of the journey. A soft humor note drifts in. The coconut is the most patient planner you'll ever meet. It packs snacks for the future, puts on a protective outfit, floats for a while, lands, and then says, okay, I'll start when I feel like it. And somehow, nature nods and replies, yes, that's correct. There's something deeply restful about a life that doesn't force beginnings before they're ready. The seed doesn't rush its sprout. The sprout doesn't rush its fronds. The tree doesn't rush its fruit. Everything begins when conditions are gentle enough to support it. Tonight, you can let that be true for you too. You don't have to force clarity at bedtime. You don't have to solve tomorrow in the dark. You can simply store calm for the future, like the coconut stores nourishment, by resting now. Inhale, like you're gathering something soft. Exhale, like you're placing it safely inside. If a worry appears, you can tell it kindly. Not tonight. Not as a rejection, more as a reschedule into daylight, where things feel simpler. The seed's faith isn't loud, it's quiet readiness. And as you drift closer to sleep, you can practice that same readiness, trusting that what needs to begin will begin later, gently, after you have rested. Shade is one of nature's quietest gifts. It doesn't sparkle. It doesn't shout. It simply changes the feeling of a place, softening heat, calming light, creating room for rest. Under a coconut palm, shade feels like a slow exhale. The sun becomes less sharp. The sand becomes easier to stand on. The air becomes a little cooler, a little kinder. And in that softened space, small lives become braver, because comfort makes room for calm. The coconut tree offers shade the way a good friend offers silence, naturally, without needing credit. By day, fronds filter sunlight into gentle patterns, dappled shapes that move slowly across the ground like drifting thoughts that have stopped trying so hard. By night, the idea of shade remains as a feeling, shelter, cover, a soft ceiling of leaves that makes the world feel held. Shade also helps the ground keep moisture a little longer. It gives tiny plants a chance to rest from direct brightness. It gives insects cooler corners. It offers a place where a lizard can pause and simply exist without needing to be anywhere else. A tiny joke floats through. The coconut tree is basically a professional at setting the mood. Soft lighting, natural breeze, comfortable temperature. If it could dim the stars a little, it probably would, just to help everyone sleep. And when you think about it, shade is a kind of generosity that asks for nothing back. The tree doesn't say, "You owe me." It doesn't count how many creatures used its cool air. It simply provides, because that is what it does. Tonight, you can let that gentleness turn inward. You can offer yourself shade. Shade for your mind by letting thoughts slow down. Shade for your body by letting muscles loosen. Shade for your heart by allowing the day to end without reliving it. Inhale as if you're stepping into a cooler place. Exhale as if you're settling into that coolness. If you need an image, picture yourself lying beneath a coconut palm. The fronds shift softly. The air moves in slow waves. The shoreline breathes nearby. And you are resting in the tree's quiet kindness, protected from harsh brightness, held in gentle dimness, allowed to be still. Because shade, like sleep, is not something you have to earn. It is something you are allowed to receive, softly, calmly, simply because you are here. The world near a coconut tree is full of returning patterns. Not the kind that feel repetitive in a boring way, the kind that feel steady in a comforting way, like hearing a familiar song from far away and realizing your body already knows the rhythm. The tide returns, the breeze returns, light returns each morning, then softens again each evening, and the coconut palm continues its quiet cycle, new fronds emerging slowly, older fronds letting go, coconuts forming with patient time, and the whole tree swaying as if it has memorized the language of the coast. These patterns don't try to happen. They simply happen because nature loves a rhythm. There's something soothing about knowing the world is not improvising wildly every second. It has habits, it has repetition, it has gentle routines that make life feel held. Even the smallest things here repeat. Insects hum in steady pulses. Like a soft metronome, the ocean keeps its long breathing. The sand cools at night and warms by day, like a slow, predictable heartbeat. And when you notice this, something in you can relax. Because part of what makes humans restless is the feeling that everything must be managed. That if you don't control the day, it will spill everywhere. But the coconut palm reminds you, the world already knows how to return to calm. A tiny joke drifts by, as sleepy as a yawn. The ocean is the ultimate creature of routine. It shows up every day like, "Hello, I'm still being the ocean." And everyone is like, "Great, love the consistency." Tonight, you can let this returning pattern hold you. You don't have to push sleep into place. You can allow your body to follow its own natural cycle, like tide, like breath, like a palm frond settling back after a breeze. Inhale, like a wave arriving. Exhale, like the wave easing away. And the question from earlier drifts through again, softly, like a scent remembered. What does it mean to be useful without hurrying? Maybe part of the answer is simply this: returning is useful. Coming back to calm is useful. Letting your mind and body cycle into rest is useful. You don't have to be extraordinary tonight. You can be rhythmic. You can be gentle. You can be part of the pattern, the quiet, returning pattern of sleep. Now the night begins to deepen. Not suddenly, not dramatically. It just grows heavier with softness, like a blanket settling into its final place. And in this quieter stretch, the question from part 2 returns again. Like a wave that doesn't need to announce itself. What does it mean to be useful without ever hurrying? You don't have to answer it. You can let it float beside you the way the moon floats above the sea. Present, calm, not asking for anything. The coconut tree offers its reply in silence. It stands, it sways, it offers shade and fruit and shelter without performing usefulness like a job interview. It doesn't hustle, it doesn't scramble, it doesn't wake up in the middle of the night and think, "Oh no, I forgot to be a tree today." A small, sleepy smile. Honestly, the coconut palm has never once written a to-do list. And yet, look at it, still standing, still giving, still calm. As you listen, you can let the question soften into something simpler. What if rest is useful too? Not useful like a task, useful like rain is useful. Like shade is useful, like sleep is useful. A quiet return that nourishes you without needing you to prove anything. Let your breath answer gently. Inhale, receive, exhale, release. If your mind tries to chase an answer, you can let it stop. Let the question become a rocking motion instead of a puzzle. Like tide sound, in, out, in, out. No solving required. And slowly, without effort, you drift deeper, held by the same steady rhythm that holds the shoreline and the palm. The wind begins to feel softer now, not because it stops, but because it settles into a quieter mood. It moves through the coconut fronds in slower strokes, like a hand smoothing hair, like a gentle brush passing over the edge of a leaf. The sound becomes thinner, calmer, less rustle, more whisper. The fronds still move, but their movement looks smaller, like the tree is drifting closer to sleep itself. If trees could yawn, this is where it would happen. A long, leafy yawn, followed by a deeper sway. In the distance, the ocean continues its steady breathing. The waves do not hurry. They arrive and soften and leave, repeating their quiet promise that everything can be smoothed again. Under the palm, the air is still warm, but it feels lighter. It feels like the day has fully let go of your shoulders. If you notice your own body, you might feel small changes too. Your jaw loosens, your tongue rests, your eyes feel heavier, as if they're politely closing the curtains on the world. A tiny bedtime joke drifts by, barely louder than a whisper. The wind is basically a lullaby DJ tonight, and its playlist is Soft Rustling Volume 1. No ads, no skip button, just calm. You can let your breath match this easing wind. Inhale, like the fronds lifting gently. Exhale, like they settle back into place. And if a thought comes along, an unfinished conversation, a random memory, a plan for tomorrow. Imagine the wind moving through it the way it moves through leaves, passing through, not getting stuck, not making a mess, just moving along. The night is smoothing everything. The palm is smoothing the air, and you are allowed to be smoothed too, softened into quiet, carried towards sleep without effort. Now we practice loosening, not forcing anything away, not clearing your mind like it's a chore, just loosening the grip, letting thoughts become lighter, like sand that no longer sticks to wet fingers. Imagine holding a handful of warm sand near the shore. When you open your hand, the grains don't fall in one dramatic clump. They slip away slowly, one tiny piece at a time, until your palm is empty without you having to do anything but relax your fingers. That is what we're doing with thoughts tonight. If a thought is in your mind, something small, something repetitive, something that wants attention, you can hold it gently for a moment, like a grain of sand. Then, without judgment, you can let it slip through. Inhale, hold, exhale, release. The coconut palm above you continues to sway. It does not cling to the wind. It does not try to keep the breeze. It lets the air pass through and then lets it go. You can do the same with your mind. A tiny humor whisper drifts in. Your thoughts are not required to attend this bedtime. They can RSVP, no, and stay home. It's okay, truly. Notice your shoulders. Let them sink a little. Notice your hands. Let them open. Notice your forehead. Let it smooth. You don't need to do this perfectly. You're not winning sleep. You're simply allowing yourself to loosen, grain by grain, breath by breath. The shore doesn't keep footprints forever. The tide doesn't cling to the beach. The palm doesn't cling to the wind. And you don't need to cling to the day. Let it fall away in tiny pieces until all that's left is a quiet, open hand, resting and ready for sleep. Everything is slower now. The shoreline breathes in long lines. The wind has softened into a gentle, almost invisible movement. The coconut palms stand like calm silhouettes, dark shapes against a darker sky, still present, still steady, as if they are keeping watch without effort. You might feel the night settling into you the way warm air settles into sand, not heavy, not pressing, just filling the space gently. This is the part of the journey where words begin to quiet down, too. We don't need many facts now. We don't need explanations. We only need the feeling. The world is calm, and you are allowed to be calm inside it. The question from earlier doesn't return as a question anymore. It returns as a quiet scent, faint, familiar, not demanding. Usefulness without hurry. The coconut tree has shown it to us the whole time, simply by being what it is. And now, you can practice that too. Resting without proving, sleeping without earning, settling without rushing. Inhale, like warm night air. Exhale, like the last wave smoothing the shore. If your eyes are open, they can close when they want. If they're already closed, they can stay that way, softly. Your body is safe. Your bed holds you. The room around you is quiet enough to let you drift. Outside this story, the coconut palms remain by the sea, swaying slowly under moonlight, holding the coast in a calm rhythm. Inside this story, you settle into the coastal dark, and the dark settles kindly around you until sleep feels close enough to touch. The night is steady now, not frozen, just settled, like a calm lake that still moves, but only in slow, gentle ways you can barely notice unless you're looking for them. On the coast, the coconut palms remain where they have always been. Tall silhouettes, quiet crowns, fronds that lift and settle like soft breathing. Moonlight rests on the edges of leaves, then slips away again, as if it's trying not to be too bright. The ocean continues its low, repeating hush, smoothing the shoreline in long lines that feel like comfort. You don't need to hold any posture here. You don't need to do relaxation correctly. You can simply allow your body to become heavier in the safest way, like sand becoming still after a wave has passed. The bed holds you. The air around you is quiet. The moment does not ask you for anything. If a thought wanders by, something small, something left over from the day, you can let it drift the way fog drifts between palm trunks. It doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to start a conversation. It can simply pass through and keep going. In the distance, a night insect hums in a steady rhythm. Not loud, not urgent, just consistent, like a tiny metronome reminding the world to slow down. Somewhere under the palms, a gecko rests, completely at peace with being still, and the coconut tree continues its quiet presence, useful without hurry, strong without stiffness. A micro-humor lullaby floats in, barely a smile. Even the coconuts are hanging there like they've already fallen asleep mid-thought. If you've ever nodded off while watching a movie, you know the vibe. The coconut tree is basically doing that, but gracefully. Now, let your breath become the center of the story. Inhale, slow and soft. Exhale, even slower. If you feel any tightness in the face, let it melt. If you feel any tightness in the shoulders, let it drop. If you feel any tightness in the belly, let it loosen, like a hand opening gently. The night holds its shape around you. Warm air, quiet water, soft sand, swaying leaves. Nothing is changing quickly. Nothing is asking you to pay attention. Everything is simply staying calm long enough for sleep to arrive. And sleep can arrive slowly, like tide returning, like a frond settling, like the world exhaling. Now we narrow the focus to something small and steady, the rhythm of breath and the rhythm of the palm. Above the shoreline, the coconut fronds sway in small arcs, lift, settle, lift, settle, never rushing, never stopping abruptly. The movement looks like a breathing exercise the tree has been practicing for years, and you don't have to practice hard to join in. Your body already knows how to breathe. It has been doing this for you all day, quietly, without needing applause. So we let the inhale feel like the fronds rising, and we let the exhale feel like the fronds settling back. Inhale, a gentle lift. Exhale, a gentle settling. If thoughts come, they can come like breezes, passing through, not staying long. The palm doesn't cling to the wind, and you don't have to cling to thoughts. Your mind can be open, like leaves, letting everything move through softly. The shoreline continues its low hush. The world feels a little dimmer, a little farther away. If you can feel your heartbeat, let it be there without listening too closely. It's just another quiet rhythm, like waves that don't need to be watched. A micro-humor lullaby floats by, nearly whispered. If you're doing breathing wrong, don't worry. The coconut tree isn't grading you. The coconut tree is just vibing. And honestly, it's an expert. Now let your breath deepen slightly, not by force, but by comfort. Let the inhale fill you gently. Let the exhale empty you gently. Inhale, as if you're receiving cool shade. Exhale, as if you're releasing warm daylight. Your eyes can soften behind the lids. Your tongue can rest in your mouth. Your hands can loosen as if they've decided they don't need to hold anything tonight. Fronds sway, air moves, water breathes, and you follow the same calm pattern, drifting, settling, loosening, quieting. The night becomes more sound than story now. Less about what happens, more about what continues, gently, steadily, like a lullaby with no sharp notes. The ocean is the main sound, low and repetitive, but never harsh. Each wave arrives like a slow sentence, and each retreat feels like the end of a paragraph. The beach doesn't respond with noise. It responds with softness, sand absorbing, smoothing, accepting. Under the coconut palms, the fronds make a quiet rustle when the wind passes, not constant, not demanding. Just a soft brushing, like fabric moving in the dark. Insects hum in the background in tiny layers, as if the night is lightly stitched together with thread. Somewhere, far off, a nightbird may call once, then stop, as if it remembered everyone is trying to sleep. The air holds warmth, but not heaviness. It feels like the world is gently cradling itself. We return to familiar motifs: water, leaves, moonlight, like repeating lines in a bedtime poem that doesn't need an ending to feel complete. If your mind is still awake, you can give it something simple to rest on. The sound of waves, the sound of leaves, the sound of your breath. Inhale, soft as a wave approaching. Exhale, soft as it easing away. A micro-humor lullaby floats in, almost inaudible. Even the stones seem relaxed. They've had practice. They've been lying there for ages, doing absolutely nothing, and somehow they're excellent at it. Consider them your bedtime role models. Let the room around you feel like the shoreline, quiet, supportive, dim. Let your body feel like sand, settled, held, unbothered. Let your thoughts feel like sea foam, appearing briefly, then dissolving without effort. Everything is soft sound now, and you can drift inside it, the way a small boat drifts in calm water. No steering needed, no destination required, just a gentle floating into sleep. Now we offer something even quieter than facts: belonging. You are not separate from nature tonight. You are not outside it, looking in. You are part of the same calm system, breathing air, resting in gravity, held by the night's steady rhythm. Your body is a natural thing, doing natural things. Your breath is a tide. Your heartbeat is a quiet drum. Your sleep is a returning season. The coconut palms on the shoreline do not ask permission to exist. They do not justify their slowness, means they are enough. They simply belong to the coast the way the coast belongs to the sea, and you can belong to this moment in the same way. If there is a part of you that feels like it must earn rest, let that part soften. Rest is not a prize. It is a natural return, like evening returning, like the tide returning, like shade returning when the sun feels too bright. Under the palms, small lives settle into their own quiet patterns. A gecko rests, not worrying about tomorrow. An insect hums, not worrying about yesterday. The ocean continues, not worrying at all. It simply moves in its long, calm breathing. A micro-humor lullaby drifts through. Gentle and affectionate, the coconut tree is so good at belonging that it has never once asked, "Am I doing life right?" It just stands there like, "Yes." And honestly, that's a very soothing confidence. So let your body do what it already knows how to do. Let your muscles loosen. Let your breath slow. Let your mind become quieter without forcing it. Inhale, belonging. Exhale, belonging. You are held by the simplest truths tonight. Warmth, darkness, stillness, breath. You don't need to chase sleep. You can let sleep find you the way a calm night finds the shoreline, slowly, gently, inevitably. The story fades now, like moonlight dimming behind thin clouds. The shoreline is still there, but softer, more like a feeling than a place. Coconut palms sway in the distance, their fronds barely moving, their silhouettes quiet behind your closed eyes. The ocean continues its low hush, smoothing the sand, smoothing the night, smoothing the edges of thought. Your breathing feels steady, slow enough to be comfortable, soft enough to feel safe. Words become fewer, pauses become longer. The night does not need to be explained. If any last thought appears, you can let it drift away like a leaf in water, floating, turning slowly, then dissolving into the dark. Your body sinks into rest. Your face smooths, your shoulders drop, your hands loosen. And somewhere on that warm coast, the coconut tree remains, a quiet symbol of steadiness without hurry, usefulness without noise, calm without effort. Now we close gently with the fixed final lines, unchanged. Everything flows through the wild. Sleep in that motion.